Ron from WoodMaxx Power Equipment. Today we're going to cover sizing your PTO shaft. So here we have our 9900 hooked up to our tractor, and we're going to get into the process of sizing your PTO shaft correctly. Alright, so the first step in the process is to get a measurement between the output shaft of your tractor and the input shaft of the implement. So we're going to show you that now. So you want to take your measurements from the detent where the PTO shaft will lock onto the shaft, the output shaft of your tractor to the input shaft on your machine. We removed the safety shield on this tractor just to give you a better look at where we're going to take them measurements. So just take your tape measure, hold it center on the detent, and measure back to the detent on the machine. So we're coming up with about 26 inches right there. All right, so the next step after you got your measurement between your tractor and your implement is to measure the PTO shaft. So with the measurement, you want to measure where the shaft locks on to the output shaft and input shaft of the tractor. So if we measure this shaft out, total length comes out to about 28 inches. Okay, so now that we measured our distance from the tractor to the implement and our overall shaft length, we have a difference of 2 inches. Now this is a very critical part in the process. Whatever your measurement is between your tractor and your implement, you have to add another additional 2 inches to that. So altogether, we will have to deduct 4 inches off of this shaft from both halves. So we'll show you how to do that now. All right, so the first thing you got to do is separate your 2 halves of your PTO shaft. The next step is to take this plastic shield off of the shaft. So that's done by pressing in these 2 little holes here on each side. Push those in and this shield will slide off of the shaft. All right, so we got our shields off our PTO shaft simply by pressing the 3 inserts here, and they slide right off. So now it's time to mark the steel shaft. So our measurement was 4 inches off each half. So we're just going to simply measure back off the end 4 inches, place a mark. And then on the other half also, because remember both halves, you have to cut both halves. Measure back 4 inches, make a mark. All right, so now you have to mark the outer shield. So it's just gonna be the same measurement on these. You're just gonna measure back from the end 4 inches and make a mark. Same thing, both halves. Just measure back off the end and mark it at 4 inches. All right, so we got our PTO shaft locked in our vise here. We're getting ready to cut it. And like I said, this can be done with a hacksaw, handsaw, grinder with a cutting wheel. I just happen to have a portable bandsaw here. So we got our mark on our shaft here, so we're gonna go ahead and start cutting it. All right, so we got our PTO shaft cut now. You're probably gonna end up with a little burr of metal on the outside and the inside, so simply just take a file, work around the edges just to get that little burr off there so your 2 halves go back together nice. And once you got all that done, you got it nice and cleaned up, go ahead and cut the second side. Okay, so now that you got all your pieces cut, the shield is side specific. There is an inner and outer shield, just like there is an inner outer shaft. So make sure that you attach these on the correct side. Outer shield goes with outer shaft, inner shield with inner shaft. Okay, so once you get the tabs lined up with the holes on the outer shield, just simply push it into place. It snaps in, you're all set to go. So then you want to go ahead and just reassemble your shaft. The shaft only goes together one way, so it can be kind of tricky to find the correct configuration in order to get it hooked up. We got it together there, slide both halves together, and now you're ready to put it on the machine. So we're going to start on the implement side first. So you're just going to simply put it onto the shaft here, make sure you line up the splines. You should be able to slide that right on. Hear a click to lock in place. So now to the tractor side here, This is where that 2 extra inches comes very critical. It allows you to get the shaft onto the tractor without any problems. So simply line up the splines again, pull your collar back, clicks into place, locked in, ready to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope these instructions help you out. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. Thanks again.